Michigan played really well. Offensively, they were extremely calculated. They were, had some explosive plays in the run game. They had a couple in the pass game, so they played really well. I don't know. I don't know what Iowa's defense is going to be because the difficult part is you with their offense being is as limited as they are, you put extra stress on your defense. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was either halftime or maybe early third quarter where Michigan had run 48 plays already, and Iowa was less than half of that. They were at like
Yeah.
20 or 24 plays, and I'm like, if your offense is so limited where a punt is a win, like you're just gonna put your defense out on the field for
Yeah.
so long. And I have no idea who Iowa's playing down the road, but if they have Maryland on the schedule, Ohio State, like they're gonna get throttled. They are going to get throttled.
You would
Um,
think. You would think for sure. I mean, look, it's one of those things where you when one side of your team is not only bad, but they actually hurt you. It just creates a situation where your team is going to eventually start to break. That dam's going to break, and that's when the floodgates open. It's either in a game or throughout a season where you start to go off the rails. And in a way, you see the same thing happening with Michigan State, but the flip is flipped. Instead of the defense being excuse me, instead of the offense being broken, it's the defense. So it's definitely not a good place to be with your program. But one side of the ball is just not doing their job. And D Brown about that's not fair to U of M. Yeah, okay, look, D Brown,
Now, let me go first because I told you all Iowa sucks. That's what I said. I
you did
predicted a score of
no.
35-10. So
You
I
you
am in
you gave no
lockstep with
respect.
yes, I gave
Right,
them no respect,
no
Kinnick no
respect.
respect. So I am standing in what I had mentioned. Go ahead,
Yeah,
proceed.
no, 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 no. But I see. I think here's how some of us are looking at it is it's not that you're going back on something that you said before, but you have your pre-game perceptions and understanding of a team, both your team and the opponent before the game, and then you have your perception afterwards. So if you did see something different than you expected, then of course you're going to have a slightly different outlook. And that doesn't mean that you're crapping on your own team, but now that you have more of a face-to-face understanding what that team, what the opponent actually is, it may shape your opinion. And yeah, I thought Iowa's defense was a little bit better. And I texted Des during the game. I'm like, um, hey, we're running the ball pretty easily. I was very shocked that Michigan was able to run the ball that easily, like butter, earlier in the game. Now, I thought we would be able to run the ball effectively, but I think we were going to just knife through them like the way we were. So, look, like I did kind of like take a step back and say maybe Iowa's rush defense is as quite as good as I thought, but they're definitely not bad, and they're definitely the best defense this team has faced all year. So a little bit of both things can be true. And just because you acknowledge that doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking anything away from Michigan, but now you actually have real context for your thoughts on the team.
And I think for even, I mean, the score was 27-14, and really it was, yes, they scored that last touchdown, but it was 27-7. And even with that, I mean, Michigan left a lot out there, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Roman Wilson overthrow, I think Michigan scored a touchdown on that drive still, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken on that. But there were just other opportunities. I mean, you look at the second drive that Michigan has the ball and they're driving, and if the O lineman doesn't step on JJ's foot and set them back, 5 yards, you just never know what that drive could end up
Yeah,
as. Like maybe that
yeah,
ends up 14-0, and at that point it's probably going to be off of the wheels are probably going to fall off for Iowa at that point, because now you're dealing with Mike Morris and Oki just full force, Mozzie Smith just coming at you nonstop. So who knows what it could have ended up as. But but yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, unless you have like a 2019 LSU offense, you're just not going to get away with one side of the ball being as bad as Iowa's offense is. I mean, legitimately every single statistical category that they keep track of, Iowa was at the bottom of. Like they
Right.
showed, passing offense, total offense, rushing offense, Big Ten rankings, last, last, last. They showed when they finally did get in the red zone opportunities. They had six coming into this game. They had six. That was by far the lowest in. I don't know if that was Big Ten or just college football. And their percentage was atrocious. Like they had 33% touchdown percent. Like everything was
Yeah.
bad. And like you just can't, you can't be successful doing, you know what I mean, like living like that. And for Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz, like I don't get it, man. To be just be like, yeah, this is us. This is how we're gonna roll. Like I don't get it, but
That they have their box and they stay in their box, and they'll get buried in that box
people are stomping
eventually.
on the box right now.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
people are stomping on the box. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good. But also too credit Michigan because they took advantage. Like they were, like I said, they didn't take a lot of deep shots. I think it was just really what two, the one to Andrell, the one to Roman. Um, and they just said, look, we're just gonna physical you. We're gonna be calculated. We're just gonna move you off the ball. And the Michigan's O line did a terrific job the
Oh.
entire game,
Oh. Oh.
just
Yeah.
moving guys out of there.
Yeah, yeah, and look, they were looked at as possibly the best offensive line in the country. This is one of those days where they kind of showed that. When they get into that mindset, and they get in a really good rhythm as a unit, and they're healthy, they are maulers. They just maul you at a point of attack, and and then not to mention that the backs that we have tremendous vision with both Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, and have the ability to make you miss, and are physical and are strong, especially Blake Corum. So it's a great combination in terms of and you know what's really telling about the Michigan offensive line and running attack is that even when they're going to run the football, you still have a hard time consistently stopping them, or at least limiting their effectiveness. They're just too good. They're too good. Um, and what can really take this offense to the next level, I believe, is for JJ to get better with his reads and to use his legs more, but knowing when to use his legs more or when to give it to the running back and let him take it, right? That could take this offense to a whole nother level, right? And then imagine a day where with the rush attack is the same effectiveness as it is now, but JJ is just as prolific with the passing game and also keeping the ball himself. Then there's absolutely nothing you can do with this defense, this offense, right? And I think that's the level that they have the ability to one day get to, but there's still some growing pains that they have to go through to get there. And I think JJ's the maturation process for JJ is a big part of that, with his decision making, ability to read, to throw guys off, right, to sell it. You have to be able to sell some of these RPO type plays and stuff like that. So that's the next step of his maturation process. But you're seeing the right things along the way, and I think when we take a step back now that we're 5 games into the season, um, this team is definitely on their way to achieving all their goals. Everything's in front of them. The talent is there, but there's definitely things that still need to be cleaned up, and I think that's very evident as well.